Since we're still technically living in the COVID pandemic, I sometimes think on whether or not there is even a point in mentioning some aspects of the show during the ramble or not. Graphics are the usual thing of the cutting block. Is there really any point in me showing or explaining that the graphic quality isn't the best when most of us perfectly know the reason why? Because it's either this or about 50 frame animators will have to sustain themselves on their own powdered shit for the next several months. And much as it's hard to believe, but I'm not heartless. I just despise humanity and wish it nothing but suffering. Where was I? Oh, that's right. So, The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt is a 12-episode fantasy anime developed by Yokohama Animation Laboratory, whose plot is exactly what it says on the title. God damn it, anime, you're this close to perfection. Our main hero is Vane Salama Arbalest, the crown prince of a small kingdom of Natra, whose main traits are that he is surprisingly competent at his job and that he wants to sell his kingdom to the highest bidder and lays around for the rest of his life. The joke being that he's probably too competent at all of this, and thus instead of selling, he actually manages to make it more powerful, and as a result, triggering a shift in geopolitics with each of his moves. And that's about it, really. Watching a genius in action is the main appeal of shows like this. It's the main reason why people to this day can't shut up about Death Note and hate the ending of it, or still like that No Game No Life anime. Well, that and a desire to ram an 11-year-old. The problem with such a story is that you have to both make the genius fun to watch and not confuse genius with a Mary Sue that can solve literally any problem they face by pulling shit out of their bottomless rectum, aka the pitfall most isekai anime fall into. And as far as I've seen, this show is actually fairly decent at showing off a believable genius who is competent at what he does. That alone is worth an applause, but besides that, I think the biggest thing I've enjoyed about this anime is that the show doesn't dance around at the horrible, dehumanizing bullshit that is feudal politics. It's also a surprisingly gory show, though it should be noted that the red shirts in this one could only be more obviously telegraphed in Dora the Explorer. Another thing I liked about the show is that the side characters aren't dumb either. Fitting to their status, all of them are very adept in the cloak and dagger's life of a career politician, and they act accordingly, making them fitting enemies and comrades to our main hero. That being said, the show doesn't offer really anything new in terms of performances, or character development, or anything, really. Wayne is fun to watch, but his character can put people off the show really easy, especially if you don't like people that are whiny. It's supposed to command some sort of respect from others. Those who just seen the title and expect some sort of comedy anime will also be disappointed, as a comedy show it is not, and it jumps from lighthearted comedy to complex political drama in a heartbeat, which is good when you expect the show to be about politics and intrigue, but not really good if you want to have a laugh. The graphics of the show are middling, to put it as diplomatic as possible, though far from the worst thing I've seen. You start seeing the cut corners almost immediately. The same thing with the music. It either was written to sound as generic as possible or was used from a stock library, because I swear that some of those tracks I've already heard in other animes before. So to sum it all up, I did like the show, as I quickly realized what it is and what it wants to be, but I also realized that in the grand scheme of things, this is probably going to end up a very bland and forgettable show for most people watching me here. It should also be noted that though I praise the political drama part of the show, it isn't anything special or groundbreaking either. I guess the only thing I can add to this all is that if I had to choose between a realist hero and this one, I'd gladly choose the Genius Prince, because unlike seemingly a lot of people these days, I am not in favor of eating feces.